There's a lot of people who want you to fail. You know, because I tweeted it and you retweeted it. There's a lot of people who want you to fail.
Yes, of course.
I think these people, if you're a critic, you should want it to be a success whilst critiquing why it might fail. But people actually want you to fail.
Yes, exactly.
Not considering the consequences of what that means for other people. You feel that pressure.
Yes. It's very easy to see.
Mm-hmm.
When you see this, a lot of, this economists were like suddenly very worried about El Salvador. They're like, oh, El Salvador is doing this bad, this will harm Salvadorans. I'm like, really? I mean, we have been literally starving for 100 years. And you never said, El Salvador should do this or that. And now suddenly you're telling us what to do and that we shouldn't do that or we shouldn't do the other thing. I mean, of course they're not interested in El Salvador. They're interested in us to fail. Because there's, if you look what's at stake, if this succeeds, which I think it will, but, they think they can stop it. If this succeeds, it will be one of the history's biggest game changers in economics. Not only monetary policy. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about the full-blown global economic system.
What's the first domino?
Yeah, well, I don't know if the first domino. You can set up analogies, but if it works, why would any other country won't do the same thing? I mean, imagine a country like El Salvador, which is with all the handicaps mm-hmm. we have, right? Suddenly, we have 75% of our people are unbankerized. Mm-hmm. Imagine in a year from now, that's down to 10. That we have been trying for, I don't know, like 30 years to bankerize our people. Mm-hmm. And it has been impossible because they don't trust the banks, because the banks don't want to give service to them, because the services are too expensive, whatever. And if we achieve in a year what we couldn't achieve in 30 years, that's just one thing. Now, if we can achieve economic growth, or even for some people to bypass inflation, which right now it's crazy, right? There's so much things at stake that, of course, there's going to be a lot of money and a lot of effort into having us fail, and that's why suddenly, there's all of this huge media outlets attacking a small country, and you were like, why? I mean, really, did they care before? They're really not attacking me or the country. They're just attacking. Actually, they're just attacking Bitcoin. I mean, they hate it because they're afraid of it. So we're being attacked as accessories.
Well, they're afraid of it making them irrelevant.
Of course. There's
losing control.
Yeah, I mean, actually, if you look a little bit forward, the market value in Bitcoin in dollars is actually low, very, very small for its real potential, mm-hmm. right? So
that's why we hodl.
Exactly, because it's very, very small. I mean, You could say, oh no, it's almost $1 trillion. Yes, but that's really small if you understand the concept. If that grows, it will grow at the expense of what? And at the expense of the U.S. dollar, at the expense of huge banks, at the expense. So there's of the international monetary system. So I mean, you have this gigantic enemies now that before, I mean, they were not. I mean, they didn't care about us. They were not our friends, but not our enemies. And now they're rooting for us to fail. But I really don't think it will happen just because it's not. I mean, they will try. They will try to scare people. They will try to give us a bad rep internationally. They will try to bring us down in our approval ratings locally.
How do you measure success yourself? And it's quite a tricky thing because you can measure success on the number of people who have become banked, that's quite an easy thing to kind of measure.
Yeah.
You can
There will
also
be a variable, right?
Yeah.
It's not going to be the variable, but it's a very important one.
you've got productivity,
Yeah.
investment,
Economic growth,
Economic
GDP,
growth.
economic growth. Yeah. Let's see next year.
Wow. See, one of the tricky things is, which will lead to another question I've got later on, but is that if you track Bitcoin's history, there's a potential of going up and then coming back down. And
Yeah.
during that period it goes down, that's when people will come at you most, I think. That's when you'll face your biggest challenges.
You think?
Yeah. I actually prefer the bear markets, by the way. I haven't worked through one. That's when
Yeah.
the real work gets done.
Yeah.
But we saw it the other day. I mean, you were buying Bitcoin and the price drops what we consider a small amount. Peter Schiff is like this and Hankey's like
Yeah,
this.
but they're probably very smart people. I'm not saying they're, but they're not being honest.
We know that.
Yeah, I know you know.
I know
And
that.
probably the people that watch your show know it. But let's just, I'll give you a very small answer. Oh, they lost $2 million. Really? When? I mean, we have the same coins that we had before. I mean, really, when we lost what? You're just calculating a market appreciation value against another currency that's just, it could be that right now. It will be different later.
Mm-hmm.
But let's take that aside for a second. Even big media companies are saying that we're going to save, and this is not me, this is big media companies, are saying that we're going to save $400 million in remittances.
Well, that's just one.
Yeah. We talk about a lot of things, right? We talk about coffee, we talk about Starbucks, McDonald's, we talk about jobs, investment, tourism.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about remittances.
Yeah.
So we talk about a lot of things, but we talk about economic inclusion, bankarization of the informal sector. We talk about loans for small businesses. We talk about a lot of things. We didn't talk about remittances. Now, these big media companies, they are saying that El Salvador will save $400 million a year, every year, $400 million.
No, but I thought they were saying
Salvador.
just on Western Union, one company alone.
Well, I don't know. I think it's probably Western Union. I don't know if, or the three of them.
But it could be more.
It could be more, yes. But let's stay with their number, right? Because I could say another number, but let's stay with their number. They say that Salvadorans will save every year $400 million. So do you think if the government loses $2 million to make their citizens, I mean, we're not losing $2 million.
Yeah.
Let's say we lost $2 million, which is a lie, we haven't lost anything. But let's say these economists are right and we lost $2 million, right? And we haven't sold anything, but let's say they're right. Okay. They also have said that Salvadorans are going to save $400 million every year. I mean, not these guys, but I mean, the media conglomerates. So we haven't lost anything. But let's say we lost $2 million to make our people save $400 million every year. So in 10 years, it would be $4 billion. Just with their numbers.
What is your GDP at the moment? I know I
thing.
should know it, but
like 24, 25 billion.
so that's 20% over 10 years of your GDP. That's pretty big numbers. And that's not counting everything else.
Well, yes, but it could be, it's actually more because we're talking about one variable, which is remittances. But then you have a lot of other variables. Even with the variable of remittances, which is one of all of the other variables, we can actually make more for our people than 400 million. Why? Because there's the ease factor. Let's say you live in the U.S., you're a Salvadoran working there, you work 2 jobs to live over there and send some money back home, right? And they will charge you to all of them, they will charge $400 million a year in fees to send their money home. So if you want to send, let's say, $50, you will have to pay $5, right? Or if you want to send, so you're probably not going to send $50 because it's too expensive to send. And you have to go to these places and give your money, send it, pay a high fee. So you're probably not going to send $50. And you probably have to go in Monday, and here they will have to go and collect the money personally. Probably you can put it, electronically over there, but they have to go personally to collect. But now you have your phone, so a kid can tell his dad, "Dad, I'm going to the movies with my girlfriend. Can you please send me $20?"
My son did it to me today.
So it's easier. I mean, if that happens with the normal system, his dad would just say, "No, of course not. I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna put a remittance of $20 and pay fees, pay $6 for a $20 remittance, and then send it to you, and then you go to the Western Union shop and take the $20, the $14 out." But if it's so easy at sending a WhatsApp message, why wouldn't he send $20?
Well,
So it's probable. It's possible. It's very likely that Salvadorans are not only going to save $400 million a year, but the ease and the speed of the transactions and the 24/7 and everything, and having his kid being able, he can go and cash it out in an ATM, but he can also go to the movie theater and just pay for the tickets. So that will make, I think, his dad probably to send him $20 that he wouldn't have sent otherwise. So we can't measure that right now, but we definitely will measure it at the end of the year. So I'm sure we're going to see some other variables that we haven't thought of them before, but we're going to see them eventually happening, and probably a couple of surprises.